Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So before we start with today's video, I just wanted to sit here and talk to you guys. Nothing big, nothing too much, but I have been under the weather since a few days, and yeah, if I look a little bit dull or down in this video, it's only because of that. And I have not been even going to office, so yeah, I have really been sick. But I thought that makeup kind of cheers my mood up and it makes me feel better, so I thought that I'll sit and film this video for you guys. But I didn't want to do anything heavy, nothing too much, no makeup looks, nothing like that. In fact, I had a whole video plan in mind. I wanted to do like a full face of makeup using just one brand, and that was the next video that I wanted to film, but I didn't want to get into that kind of video today because I'm not feeling that too well. So I decided that I'm going to do like a series of video. Let me know in the comments if you would be interested in something like that. So today is the first video from that series. I want to do like a top 5 series. So all of my top 5 powder foundations, concealers, blushes, compacts, highlights, everything of that sort. So top 5 of everything, and then we will also of course include top 5 lipsticks. Now top 5 lipsticks would be like nude lipsticks, pink lipsticks, red lipsticks, something like that. So I have that in mind and I want to do that. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Will you be interested in something like that, or you just want me to stick to hauls and reviews and makeup looks and something like that? For today's video, we have the first video of the top 5 series, and I'm going to be talking about all of my favorite compact powders. I have a lot of powder foundations and compacts because, as you guys know, I use that on a daily basis and I don't go for foundations on a daily basis, but I always use powder foundations. So that's why I have a ton of powder foundations, and to just pick 5 was a big challenge, but I have my favorite 5 from my entire compact powder collection. So yeah, let's quickly get into the video. So the first powder that we're going to be talking about today is on the high end side, and it's the most expensive powder that we're going to be talking about today. So just let's get that out of the way first, because I know a lot of us don't want to spend, even I don't want to spend so much on a powder, but I just had got my first bonus in office and I wanted to splurge a little bit, and I have always been wanting to try my hands out on this powder. That's the reason I bought this powder. I'm not recommending that you go and break your bank accounts for this powder, because there are a lot of other powders I'm going to be talking about which are equivalently good to this powder. But yeah, if you are a makeup junkie and you want to splurge on yourself and your makeup, then I would definitely recommend you check this powder. So without blabbing further, let me show you the product. And this is the Este Lauder Double Wear Compact Powder. Now the Este Lauder Double Wear line is a very famous line for people who have oily skin and need a lot of coverage, or they don't want their face to look oily throughout the day. So ever since they launched this line, I have always wanted to try their double wear compact foundation, and this it costs like an arm and a leg. It is, I think, for 2,000. No, this is, I think it is for 3,000 rupees. I'm not really sure at this point in time, but I'll definitely leave the price down below, so don't forget to check it out. I think it is for 3,000 rupees, and that is an insane amount of money for just a powder foundation. I mean, that is an insane amount of money for a liquid foundation or a concealer as well. Maybe a eyeshadow palette, I would say that yeah, 3,000 rupees would be okay. It's still expensive, but okay, because you get a lot of colors and a lot of shades in an eyeshadow palette. But just for a powder, spending 3,000 rupees is a bit much. But this powder foundation is just out of this world. It is an actual foundation, so it's not like a compact which would just make your skin tone even, which would just make your complexion even and just hide like redness, but this actually gives you coverage. So this is how the packaging looks. If I already showed you, it's nice navy blue with a gold kind of their logo over here. You have your details behind, and I'm in the shade 4N1 Shell Beige 05. And then you get your nice quality mirror over here, and then this is your powder. This is how the shade looks, and then when you open it, you have your sponge over here, and then they have like a sifter sort of a thing so that your sponge gets to air out and it does not get moistened or does not get dirty. Definitely you don't have to buy this if you're on a budget, or if you don't like spending that much money on a compact. I totally understand that, but for me it is worth 3000 rupees because it is a really nice powder. It gives a good coverage, it blends out nicely, it doesn't look like you're wearing powder, and it does not make my skin feel cakey. I have also tried this on over top of foundation and concealer, so even after that my face does not look cakey or does not look like I'm wearing powder. It looks nice and flawless. So now let's move on to few of the affordable powders that we're going to be talking about today. And the first powder that I'm going to be talking about is this. This is the Maybelline New York Dream Satin Skin Two-Way Cake with SPF 32 PA+++, and I'm in the shade 03. Now this, I can hands down say that this is my most repurchased and frequently used powder foundation, or a compact powder, whatever you want to call it. This has been definitely a constant repurchase. As soon as I get over with one, I definitely go and repurchase another. Even though I have a ton of powders in my collection, I always think that I need this and I need to have this in my collection. This is one of those powders which will always be there in my collection, no matter whichever powder I have and how many ever powders I have. That is of course till the time they keep making it. So now this is very similar to the Este Lauder Double Wear powder foundation in the sense that it gives a good amount of coverage. I love the packaging on it. It is quite big, but it has a nicely stretched mirror. Like it has a full mirror down here. You have your powder over here and the sponge over here with again a sifter down. So yeah, as you can see, I have again used this a lot, and if you see very closely, you can see the pan dents down below. And definitely once I am out of this, I am going to be repurchasing this. Now this is, I think, around somewhere 500 or 600 rupees. I'm really not sure about the prices, so definitely check the description box below. I will of course leave links to buy these powders as well, and those are not going to be affiliate links, or I'm not going to make any money out of them, but just so that I help you guys out, I'm definitely going to be leaving the prices and the links down below, so don't forget to check that out. Now coming back to this powder, it's a really good powder, really creamy, really smooth. Again, does not look really cakey on my face, does not dry out my skin. Even though I have oily skin, powders tend to dry out my skin if I use very excessively dry powders. So this is a very creamy powder. Again, has a lot bit of coverage, similar to the Estee Lauder one. And yeah, I really like this powder. It's really inexpensive. If you want to go for a good coverage powder foundation, I would definitely recommend you check this out. The next powder foundation that I'm going to be talking about is this. Now this is, as you can see, it's still in the box, and I don't know, I have mentioned this a couple of times. I am a bit crazy. I like to keep my products in boxes sometimes. So I picked this up from the beautiful store in Lokhandwala. You guys know that that is my favorite store. I practically live in that store. And pack came out with their powder foundations or compact powders, and I really was intrigued to pick that up. Now it says it's for 650 rupees, but at Beautiful it was for 585 rupees. It has the price tag over here, and I'm in the shade CP1, and this is how the compact looks. I think the packaging on this is so classy and so chic. It's first of all has a magnetic closure. It does not have a mirror. Granted, I really enjoy powder foundation that have mirror, because that's the only thing I carry with me as a mirror. And whenever I want to do my makeup in office or on the go and I need to touch it up, I always bank for a mirror in my powder foundation. But I am willing to look past that, because I really love the packaging on this one. It's so chic, has a magnetic closure. It really feels it's very high and luxurious. The packaging looks like this. As you can see, it's a nice clear glass. Then your powder is here, and then you have all the information behind as well. And this powder is again a very creamy powder. It has buildable coverage. Now it's not like coverage in one swipe, like you would have to build this powder, and it does build. Like I have put 3 to 4 layers of this powder on my face, and it gives that full coverage if I wanted. And it does not look cakey. It does not look like, you know, you have packed on like a buttload of powder on your face. So it's a very light powder. That is why you can like get away with applying 3 or 4 layers on your face if you want that extra bit of coverage. But I definitely use this powder more more when I know that my skin is looking good today. I just want like a dust of powder, and I just go in with 1 or 2 layer of it, and like I'm good to go. That's on those kind of days I tend to reach out for this powder. The next powder I'm going to be talking about is a very recent addition to my powder collection, and I have a full review on this powder as well on my channel, which I'll definitely link down below. So it is the Nykaa Skinginius Skin Perfecting Hydrating Compact. Now again, it's in the box and I am in the shade Rose Beige. This is the most hydrating powder I have ever used, and it looks really flawless on the skin. It fills in my pores as well. This is one of the best powder to fill in your pores. Like the Este Lauder one does a decent job of filling in the pores, but this powder foundation actually fills in your pores and kind of makes your skin look flawless. The only problem I have with this powder foundation is that it is very pink tone. Now that can be because I picked up the shade Rose Beige, but they have only 3 shades sadly, which is really annoying, and the second shade looked pretty much similar to my skin, but since it says it's Rose Beige, it has a lot of pink undertones to it. So I don't like powders which have a lot of pink undertones in them, because my skin has a lot of yellow golden undertones to it. So I don't prefer powders which have pink undertones, because they kind of clash with my skin tone and make me look very pink, and like, you know, it looks like I'm wearing blush all over my face, and it's not like, you know, a cute look. So this is how the packaging looks. It's really classy matte black with silver Nykaa written on top. It has a mirror over here, a good quality mirror, and then your powder is over here, and then you open it up and you have your compact down here with again the sifter kind of a packaging. Now the only complaint I have with the packaging is that the mirror does not open throughout. Like it just gets stuck over here, and it becomes difficult at times to kind of, you know, maneuver the powder around when your mirror just gets stuck. And also this is the most creamiest powder. If you can see, it's so pigmented. This is the swatch over here. It's the most creamiest powder that I have ever dipped my hands in, and this is very affordable as well. I think it is around 500 or 600 rupees. Again, price is in the description box, so check those out. My last powder that I'm going to be mentioning for today is this. Now this is from Mina. This brand has recently come up and it's available in Inorbit, in the Inorbit mall in Malad. And this is I think a little bit expensive. I think it was around for 700 or 750 rupees, I'm not sure, but nonetheless it reminds me a lot of the Nykaa packaging, because it comes in that matte black sort of, you know, feel, and it's in the shade 203. It has all the shade ingredients behind. It's really cute. Again, it's really nice. The box is of a good quality. You have a good quality mirror over here, and then you have your powder over here. It does not come with a sponge. That's a little bit sad if you want to use it on a go, but for me, I never use sponges in the powder foundations. In all my compacts, like even this does not come with a sponge, which I totally forgot to mention. So this also doesn't come with a sponge. I don't kind of mind that, because I anyways use a kabuki brush to apply my powder foundation. I always go in with a fluffy brush or a kabuki brush. I don't really use the sponges in the powders. So similarly, if this doesn't come with a sponge, it's not a big deal breaker for me. But the powder on this again is really creamy, really nice, really smooth, and I think this has the perfect undertone. This is how the powder looks. Again, it's very pigmented, very nice. It's a very medium to sheer coverage powder foundation, and you can layer about 2 layers of this, and anything beyond that it would look a bit cakey. So I think you can easily layer 2 layers of powder with this and you'll be good to go. So yeah, out of all these 4 foundations, I think I have 2 full coverage powder foundations, that is the Este Lauder one and the Maybelline one. Then I have one which is a good medium coverage foundation, like bang on medium coverage, which can be built up to a full coverage, and it's really nice. And then I have 2 which are like light coverage foundations, which can be built up to a nice medium coverage foundation. Yeah, and I definitely use these on days when I know that I just need like a powder to just even out my skin tone, and I kind of go for these when I know that I want a little bit of coverage on my face. And this, as I said, it can turn up to full foundation, and or you can use up to a medium coverage or a light coverage. It all depends on how much product you're going to apply. Those were kind of all my recommendations, and those were my top 5 compact powders at the moment. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments down below about the series that I'm going to do. Let me know if you're interested so that I'll continue making these sort of videos, or this would be my last video in this series if you guys are not interested in watching this. So yeah, don't forget to leave your decisions or your thought process down in the comments below. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit on the bell icon down below so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. Please thumbs this video up if you enjoyed watching it. Don't forget to follow me on all of my social medias, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.